As a business leader, have you ever struggled to keep your team engaged and motivated? Have you found it challenging to build a strong company culture that values and recognizes the hard work of your employees? If so, you're not alone. The good news is there is a solution. OC Tanner has been helping organizations like yours for almost a century by providing personalized employee recognition solutions to improve workplace culture. Their insightful expertise, elevated employee experiences, and intuitive technology fuel thriving workplaces and improve business results. By partnering with OC Tanner, you can create a positive workplace culture where your employees feel valued and appreciated, do their best work, and want to stay. So if you're looking to build a stronger and more cohesive team, head over to octanner.com/CSEA to learn more. Thanks to OC Tanner for sponsoring this episode. Hello everyone, Adrian here again, and this is another episode of my monologue. And today I want to talk to you about LinkedIn and about its toxic positivity and hustle culture that is creating this unrealistic work expectation. So having read one too many posts on LinkedIn about the enviable lives of digital nomads working at the beach, sitting under the sun while sipping away their pina colada, I decided to try that myself. So one week I actually packed my stuff and went to Pasir Ris Beach. So the view was awesome, although occasionally there's an oil tanker gliding past. But the entire experience was actually quite horrible. I was constantly swatting at flies, the sun was so glaring I could barely see my computer screen, and there's no Wi-Fi, so I have the data from my phone, but then the signal at the beach was extremely poor. And most importantly, there's no place to charge my laptop battery. So after an hour of squinting my eyes to decipher the words on my screen, I reluctantly gave up and marched home to continue the rest of my workday at home. I'm certainly not the only person to have tried applying advice on LinkedIn to real life and failed spectacularly. Since the pandemic hit, the site has actually seen 55% increase in conversations. Over the years, LinkedIn has become the go-to network for all professionals globally. Founded by Reid Hoffman in 2003, it has since been acquired by Microsoft and reached a whopping 756 million users. Now, LinkedIn tends to be seen as a beacon of positivity at a time when social media has come under fire for spreading misinformation, fueling hate, and creating divisions. Facebook and Twitter grew out of a culture of online anonymity, but LinkedIn incentivizes users to put their real names, career track records, and more. That ensured an unspoken code of conduct on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great space to connect with like-minded professionals in the industries and top performers who might offer mentorship, advice, and context to aid you in your climb up the career ladder. There are scores of contacts on LinkedIn whose posts give me food for thought and help me understand things that impacted my own career. But human instincts and mob dynamics are hard to scrub out. Similar to other platforms, LinkedIn encourages social comparison and one-upmanship. They're just dressed as positive posts of career victories and authentic confessions of personal struggles. LinkedIn's feed pretty much gives users this license to broadcast and humble brag. It's not so different from Instagram, which encourages you to show off your stay at W Hotel or flex off your latest haircut. LinkedIn similarly prods people to promote and even exaggerate their professional highlights to suggest so-and-so is a rock star in their field. That includes acquiring a new certificate, getting promoted, joining a really cool company, or some amazing news that make others envious. It really sounds like an arm race that never stops pushing you to be a better version of your work self. The ultimate version comes in the form of hustle porn, the fetishization of long work hours, workaholism, and accomplishments outside of work, just so you look like a standout candidate for any job. The worst part, you're expected to look like you're enjoying it all because all this is only work if it's grueling and difficult. There's also a fair amount of virtual signaling on LinkedIn, where motivational quotes shared constantly ingrain in you that you need to have a maker's mindset or find nourishment in all you do. Long before the advent of LinkedIn, Type A personalities have already started preaching about waking up at 4 a.m., exercising, then taking an ice-cold bath or an hour-long meditation before writing their 12th book that is already likely a candidate for the New York Times bestseller list. Former PepsiCo CEO Indra Nooyi has long touted her 4 hours of sleep and working until 12 midnight. But studies after studies have shown that doing so could put you at risk for many problems like lowered immunity, poor memory, and heart disease. It may work for some, but that's not a healthy or sustainable lifestyle choice for everyone. Yet LinkedIn make it seem like everyone should embrace this hyper-competitive life. Take the CEO of VaynerMedia and LinkedIn influencer Gary Vaynerchuk, or more popularly known as Gary V. In one of his older viral video titled "One of the Greatest Speech Ever," Gary V tried to rouse millennials out of their laziness and entitlements to up their game and work harder. When I watch what people complain about, it breaks my heart because they completely lack perspective. There's so many people who talk about how much they're going to achieve and they don't work on weekends, he says. But ask yourself, at what price is this coming at? And remember, you only hear the success stories, not so much the casualties of this mentality. Now, research has shown how social media can be a reinforcing platform, fueling negativity and depression. In 2014, 2 studies reviewed an association between the amount of time spent on Facebook and depressive symptoms because of Facebook social comparison. Even compared to Facebook, LinkedIn may be the worst social media platform that makes you feel inferior. If you find yourself stalking LinkedIn for a few hours, doom scrolling your way and wondering why you feel oddly inadequate, keep in mind what you might for Instagram. The reality you're presented with is not the full picture. It may not be authentic. Famed Twitter account State of LinkedIn highlighted how many LinkedIn users had used the same story of a cab driver going without customers for 48 hours as a cautionary tale of an unequal impacts of COVID-19, or just to earn likes. When victors write history, keep in mind that what people claim they do also might not reflect their actions. There are many bosses who preach greater empathy for employees on LinkedIn while privately demanding that team members return to the office despite their overwhelming preference to work from home. It is so easy for your LinkedIn feed to send doubt about your competence, whether you're keeping up with the pack or working hard enough to do well at work. Don't let that happen. Remember that even when recruiters hire using LinkedIn, rather than judge based on how stellar your LinkedIn feed looks, they will still put you through an assessment and rounds of interviews. Personal public relations is no substitute for substance, and you can bet corporate leaders and hiring managers who can't tell the difference will pay the price. In a post-pandemic world that is reviewing work-life balance, perhaps the next thing we need to look at is whether LinkedIn contributes to that positively. And that's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed this monologue. If you like it, appreciate if you could give me a review on Apple Podcasts. It will really help to distribute this podcast to a larger audience. Thank you so much and see you on the next episode. And that's it for this week's episode. Before we sign off, we want to give a special shout out to our sponsor, OC Tanner. As a business leader, you know that one of the biggest challenges is creating a positive workplace culture where your employees feel valued and appreciated. That's where OC Tanner comes in. Their award-winning recognition solutions are designed to help you celebrate the accomplishments of your employees and teams, drive performance, and build a strong sense of community. Your employees will feel more connected to your organization, which can result in increased loyalty and reduced turnover. So if you're looking to create a culture of appreciation in your organization, head over to octanner.com/C, that is SEA, to learn more. Thanks again to OC Tanner for sponsoring the show. Thank you for listening to the podcast. You can refer to the show notes for links to more information about our guests and their businesses. If you enjoyed this podcast, it would be helpful to give a review on iTunes or follow me on Spotify. If you're using Overcast, please hit the star button under the episode. That will help get this episode and podcast out to more people who may find it useful. I'll see you in the next episode of The Adrian Han Show.